Hello students, my name is Dr. Sunil Dahire. I am Associate Professor in Dada Ramchand Bakru Sindhu Mahavidyalaya, Nagpur. Today we are going to discuss one very important topic from chemistry. Name of the topic is Nuclear Magnetic Resonance Spectroscopy, means NMR spectroscopy. Spectroscopy deals with interaction of matter with radiations. Matter may be gas in gaseous state, solid state or liquid state. The radiations are also known as electromagnetic radiation because each radiation associated with electric as well as magnetic waves. So there are different types of electromagnetic radiations: gamma rays, X-rays, UV, visible, IR, microwave and radio wave. Energy of these radiation decreases from gamma rays to radio waves. Gamma rays have high energy radiations and radio waves they have low energy radiations. Energy or strength of these electromagnetic radiations can be expressed in terms of either frequency, wavelength or wave number. Frequency decreases from gamma rays to radio waves and wavelength increases from gamma rays to radio waves. It means that frequency is directly proportional to energy and wavelength is inversely proportional to energy. Spectroscopy, it is the branch of chemistry which deals with structure determination or elucidation of compounds. So there are different spectroscopic techniques such as UV spectroscopy, IR spectroscopy, NMR spectroscopy, mass spectroscopy. Each spectroscopy has its own importance. UV spectroscopy is used to determine unsaturation in the compound. Unsaturation means presence of double bond or triple bond can be found out by using UV spectroscopy. IR spectroscopy is used to determine functional group in the compound, and NMR spectroscopy is used to find out environment and location of certain nuclei. So NMR, it is used to find out environment and location of certain nuclei. The examples of certain nuclei are hydrogen, means H11, carbon C613, nitrogen N714, fluorine 919, phosphorus 1531. These nuclei, location of these nuclei can be found out with the help of NMR spectroscopy. These nuclei are said to be NMR active nuclei. Those nuclei are NMR active in which total spin quantum number means I is greater than 0. The nuclei may be NMR active if its total spin quantum number is greater than 0. Total spin quantum number means value of I depends upon mass number as well as atomic number. So this table gives overall idea about values of I. If mass number is even and atomic number is even, in that case value of I will be 0. If mass number is even, atomic number is odd, in that case I will be 1, 2, 3 like this. If mass number is odd, atomic number is even or odd, in that case values of I may be 1 by 2, 3 by 2, 5 by 2 like this. And such nuclei are said to be NMR active. In case of NMR active nuclei, like electron, nuclei spin. We know that, suppose this is the structure of atom. In atomic structure, central part is known as nucleus and electron revolve around the nucleus in a circular path. Electron has two types of motion, orbital motion as well as spin motion. Like electron, nuclei of certain atoms can also spin. So this is spinning nucleus, and for the spinning of nuclei we just discussed that the condition is total spin quantum number should be greater than 0. Means value of I should be greater than 0. In spinning nucleus, this is the spinning of nucleus. When nuclei spins, so it is charged particle, and due to spinning of nuclei, small magnet generate, and that magnet acts as a bar magnet. In presence of external magnetic field, this small magnet, which is known as bar magnet, respond to the external magnetic field. So in presence of external magnetic field, this small magnet either align in the direction of external magnetic field or it will oppose to the external magnetic field. In presence of external magnetic field, the spin motion of nuclei becomes it spin about its axis, the rotate about its axis. Such type of motion is known as precessional motion. To understand this precessional motion, let us take the example of top. This is the model of top. If this top spin like this is the spin motion of top. Suppose this is the situation in absence of magnetic field. In presence of magnetic field, this spin motion will be like this. Such type of motion are known as precessional motion. These are the precessional motion. Precessional motion of nucleus. So there are two types of precessional motions. Either these, suppose this is the applied magnetic field. So these precessional motion, either they are in the direction of applied magnetic field or they are in opposite direction of applied magnetic field. This is the applied magnetic field and these are precessional motion. So these are the two possibilities. These two possibilities can be understood by taking this diagrammatic representation. So this is the spinning nucleus in absence of applied magnetic field, in presence of magnetic field. So there are two possibilities. Either the precessional motion of nuclei may align in the direction of applied magnetic field. This situation corresponds to lower energy. Suppose this is A1. And second possibility is the precessional motion of nuclei may oppose to the external magnetic field. This situation corresponds to higher energy. Suppose it is E2. The energy gap between E1 and E2 is delta E. The magnitude or value of delta E depends upon applied field strength. If the applied field strength increases, the value of delta E also increases. If applied field strength decreases, the value of delta E also decreases. So the energy difference, energy gap between these two energy level, it is very small, and this energy is nearly equal to the energy of radio waves. Therefore, when radio waves incident on such nuclei which is in lower energy state absorb radio waves and undergoes excitation from lower energy waves to higher energy state. So such type of excitation is known as flipping. Such type of excitation is known as flipping, and during this process, flipping process, absorption of radiation takes place, and that absorption is recorded in the form of NMR spectrum. Let us discuss the NMR spectrometer. This is diagrammatic representation of NMR spectrometer. In this NMR spectrometer, this is the sample tube. You can see that this is the sample. This sample is in presence of variable electromagnets. These are two variable electromagnets and a constant radio frequency incident on this sample. So this is radio frequency generator. Commonly, the constant frequency of 60 megahertz, 100 megahertz or 200 megahertz used to incident or supplied to the sample, provided to the sample. This sample absorbs certain radio frequency waves, and whatever the absorption that is recorded in the form of NMR spectrum. For to insert the sample, if the sample should be in liquid state. If sample is present in solid state, to dissolve the sample, certain solvents are used such as CdCl3, deuterated chloroform, C6D6, and chloroform, CCl4. These are some of the examples of solvents which are used to dissolve sample to prepare the sample solution. So this is the NMR spectrum, and in NMR spectrum, finally we have seen that we get the NMR spectrum. This NMR spectrum is interpreted with the help of 4 parameters. So let us discuss the parameters which are used to interpret the NMR spectrum. So interpretation of NMR spectrum with the help of 4 parameters. First parameter is number of signals. NMR signals are also known as peaks. So number of signals. Then second parameter is position of signals or peaks. Third parameter is intensity of signals or peaks. And fourth parameter is splitting of signals. Let us discuss these parameters one by one. First parameter is number of signals or number of peaks. Number of signals or number of peaks in NMR spectrum gives very important information. It gives types of protons present in the molecule. If we get one NMR signal, it means that there are one type of protons in the molecule. If we get 2 NMR signals, it means that there are 2 types of protons in the NMR in the molecule. The types of proton depends upon electronic or chemical environment. And depending upon electronic or chemical environment, protons in the molecule are classified into 2 categories: equivalent protons and non-equivalent protons. Equivalent protons are those protons in which the electronic or chemical environment of all proton is same, and non-equivalent protons are those protons in which the electronic or chemical environment of proton are different. In short, in equivalent proton, electronic or chemical environment is same, and in case of non-equivalent protons, electronic or chemical environment is different. So let us take some examples. So this is first example, methane. In methane we can see that carbon is surrounded by 4 hydrogen atoms. Environment of all 4 hydrogen atoms is same. Therefore, this molecule, methane molecule, gives one signal in NMR spectrum. Second example, ethane. In ethane, there are total 6 hydrogen atoms, but environment of all 6 hydrogen atoms is same. Therefore, all 6 hydrogen atoms will absorb at same frequency and it will give single peak. So, ethane will give single peak or single signal in NMR spectrum. Let us take the example of methanol. In methanol, we can see that, so out of 4 protons, environment of 3 proton, 1, 2 and 3 is same, and environment of this proton which is attached to oxygen is different. So as there are 2 types of protons, methanol gives 2 NMR signals in NMR spectrum. So in this way, depending upon electronic and chemical environment, we can find out number of NMR signals. So these are some more examples. Ethane, the structural formula of ethane is CH3CH3. In this there are oh, there is only one type of proton, it will give one NMR signal. Propane, in propane, terminal protons are equal, AA, and middle protons are different. Hence propane will give two types of signal. 1-chloroethane, there are two types of proton, A and B, it will give two signal. 1,2-dichloroethane, there are four proton, all protons are equivalent, it will give single peak. In acetone, all protons are equivalent because their electronic or chemical environment is same, hence it will give single peak. In case of acetaldehyde, these three protons of CH3 and one proton of hydrogen, the two types of protons are there, hence it will give two peak. Acetic acid, in acetic acid, three protons of CH3 and one proton of acid, two types of protons are there, hence it will give two peak. In benzene, there are six protons, but all six protons are identical and it will give single peak. In case of monosubstituted benzene, this is important, so remember that in case of monosubstituted benzene, if benzene is monosubstituted, there are two possibilities. First, let us consider the first possibility. If the substituent is electron releasing or electron donating group, such as CH3, OH, NH2, in that case, remaining 5 protons of benzene will give single peak. This peak is known as singlet, or sometimes it is also known as multiplet, because this peak is made up of 5 proton and this peak is comparatively broad, therefore it is known as singlet or multiplet. So when monosubstituted benzene, in case of monosubstituted benzene, if substituent is electron releasing, we will get single peak of remaining 5 aromatic protons. And on the other hand, if the substituent is electron withdrawing, electron attracting, like NO2 group, aldehyde group, acid group, so in that case we will get two types of peaks. The two hydrogen atoms which are nearer to the electron withdrawing group, these two hydrogen absorb, they will give single peak and remaining 3 will give different peak. So in case of monosubstituted benzene, if the substituent is electron withdrawing, we will get 2 peaks for 5 aromatic hydrogen atom, for 5 aromatic protons. So let us take the example of disubstituted benzene. Disubstituted benzene, in case of disubstituted benzene, there are two possibilities. If both substituents are same, in that case we will get single peak, and if two substituents are, one is X and other is Y, means if two substituents are different, we will get 2 peaks. So these are some additional examples to revise the concept. So this is the toluene. In toluene, benzene ring is attached to CH3. In this toluene, there are two types of proton. CH3 protons of CH3, it will give single peak, and remaining 5 protons of benzene will give second peak. Hence, for toluene, we will get 2 peaks. So let us take the example of nitrobenzene. In nitrobenzene, NO2 group is electron withdrawing group, electron attracting group, and because of electron attracting group, we will get 2 peak here. The hydrogen atoms which are nearer to the NO2 group, they will give 1 peak, and remaining 3 hydrogen will give second peak. Third example, CH3CH2OH, ethanol. In ethanol, there are 3 types of proton, 1, 2nd and 3rd, and therefore we will get 3 signals, NMR signals in case of ethanol. So this is the first parameter, number of signals which is used to interpret NMR spectrum. The NMR number of signal gives types of proton, and depending types of protons, we can interpret the NMR spectrum, and this interpretation is used to determine structure of the compound. Again, there are three more parameters: position of signal, intensity of the signal, and splitting of signal. So we will discuss these remaining three parameters in second part of the second part. So thank you. In this part we have discussed principle of NMR and first point for the interpretation of NMR. So remaining points we will discuss in second part. So thank you. See you in the second part.